Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Friday, January 30th. That's right, ladies and gents. It is Frisky Friday, and I am so frisky to see y'all today. I'm very, very happy to say that we made it to the end of the week. We got our last stream, our last episode of the week. And wow, what a week it was. What a way to finish the week as well. We get to talk about last night's games, some of them absolutely unbelievable. I got some crazy statistics for y'all to show you how y'all already know what game I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Mavs versus Hornets. We will be headlining with that game. A lot of podcasts won't. A lot of podcasts will start with some useless garbage game like the Timberwolves Thunder just to shit on the Thunder, which we will be shitting on because we got to take every opportunity we can to shit on the Thunder because they're that damn good. But you know, today we're starting with the Hornets taking that win. Guys, today's episode is going to be very, very fun. We're going to go break down 3 games from last night that I think have the best storylines with a couple fun little facts that happened around the league, which is awesome as well. And then we are going to do a little segment that I created that it's going to be, it's called Who Needs What? Who Needs What? It sounds like a Price is Right game. Big fan, by the way. Shout out Drew Carey. And so today's episode is going to be pretty fun. Today's episode is going to be very fun. Before we get started, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps more than y'all could possibly ever understand. TikTok, YouTube, guys, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're watching on. And oh yeah, that's right. The Twitch chat. Guys, you already know you have the most important job out of everybody here, and that's to sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with your Charlotte Hornets winning 5 straight games. 5 straight games. 5. Not just that, it's a stat that I said just a couple days ago, but the Charlotte Hornets are now 11-1 when they start with Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Kon Knips, Moose, and LaMelo Ball. 11-1 with that starting lineup. I have to repeat myself. They are 11-1 with that starting lineup. They are on a 5-game winning streak. Your Charlotte Hornets are only, and I say only, they are only 2.5 games back of the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls are on a losing streak. So they are in the mix. In fact, I'd say so long as they can continue rolling out the starting lineup, they're really in the mix. And I think you can just guarantee yourself to just make this, to making them play it. I'm sorry, guys. I just gotta be honest. I have some crazy Hornets fans in my Twitch stream, and it's really hard to just read these messages and not read them out loud. But I would like to give a special shout out to my man Hollow, who was here before the stream even started, hyping up the Hornets. He's a big Hornets fan. He commented, "I don't know how to act. Someone tie me down because I'm foaming. Rah, buzz, 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 buzz." So the Charlotte Hornets, man, what is going right with this team? Now, I want to start. Instead of talking about the Hornets, I want to talk about both teams here. All right. Wires Bros, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. I got to talk about this game. Okay. So let's talk about this actual game. On the other side, you have Cooper Flag dropping 49 points. Could have had 50 easily, but Caleb Martin wanted to be the hero. 49 points. Now you're probably wondering, wait a minute. Isn't Cooper Flag only 19? That's got to be some sort of record. Well, it is. It's the highest scoring game ever he's the youngest player ever in NBA history. Again, the youngest player ever in NBA history to score 49 points in a game. Now, with Cooper, I think you're going to hear us say this a lot. Youngest player since, and it's probably going to be LeBron. Youngest player since, and it's probably going to be because of LeBron. But you're already hearing the one thing better than that. Youngest player ever. Youngest player ever scored 49 points in a game. Okay. And not just that, that was on 77% true shooting. 77% true shooting. He dropped 49 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and he shot 20 for 29. Talk about an efficient game. Now, his roommate, his former roommate, Kon Vs, the winner of this game, dropped 34 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a game-winning steal, and he shot 10 for 16, 8 for 12 from deep. 8 for 12? Who is this guy? Me? Those are numbers I put up in my rec league. 8 for 12? This man is averaging 8 attempts from three-point land this season. That's already the most attempts by any rookie ever. I need to repeat myself because I feel like people are sort of tuning me out. He is attempting 8 threes per game. That is the most ever by any rookie ever. Curry, Harden, Ant, everyone. And I'm being told from TikTok that 8 for 12 from 3 is not crazy. Okay, buddy. Okay. He's 20 years old. This guy was born when I was in first grade. This guy was born in the year of 2005. This guy was born and never witnessed the Pistons win a championship. This guy was born while LeBron was averaging 28 points in the NBA. LeBron was in the league for 2 years when this guy was born. And you're telling me he's shooting 8 for 12 from 3 and that's not crazy? He had a 91% true shooting last night. This guy wasn't alive during the conspiracy of Barney stuffing cocaine in his tail. Y'all remember that conspiracy? Barney, the purple dinosaur? This guy missed prime Elmo, prime Sesame Street, prime Dora the Explorer. And this is just a sight to see. This is unbelievable. Former roommates battled head to head. In fact, somebody in my Discord server, now TikTok, you guys are missing out on a whole lot of conversation in my Discord channel, so be sure to join the Twitch stream. Somebody, actually, it was Papo. His name is Papo. He mentioned in the Discord that this has to be the greatest rookie battle in NBA history. So when I woke up this morning, I was curious. I said, there can't be a game better than this, right? In all of NBA history. They combined for 83 points, y'all. Cooper Flag, Kon Vs against each other combined for 83 points. I was like, there's no way somebody, like a group of 2 guys, had a better game than that. And turns out there was one game. You know how far back you have to go? And casuals don't know these guys' names either. At least one of the names. Casuals don't know. You have to go back all the way to 1971 when Tiny Archibald and Pete Maverich combined for 91 points as rookies. They were up against each other and they combined for 91 points in 1971 as rookies. And now you have to go back. How many years ago is that? 55 years? 55 years? You have to go back to Tiny and Pistol Pete? Sorry, I said did I say Marvich? Maravich. My apologies. I was thinking of the Mavs. You have to go back from Pistol Pete with no shooting. And they combined for 91 points. Unbelievable. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is our greatest that we will ever see. I don't know if we'll ever see another rookie battle like that. Like, think about that. That's 55 years ago. 55 years ago. That's how far back you got to go to see 2 rookies battle it out. So you can call this the greatest rookie battle of all time in our generation. You can say in our generation. Now, of course, I mentioned that the Hornets walked away with this win, which makes it their 5th in a row, which makes them 11-1 with this starting lineup. And it's a sight to see, y'all. It is truly a sight to see. What I will say is Cooper did not have any help last night. Now, this goes out to that one Mavericks fan that was in my TikTok stream yelling at me saying that the Mavs are contenders this year. He was telling me this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And I could not take him serious, but he was being 100% serious. This Mavericks team sucks. If they had Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, and I also had a 12-inch schlong, arguably, with all of these ifs, they could be the greatest team in the NBA right now. But unfortunately, I don't have a 12-inch schlong. Anthony Davis has had 14 injuries in the last 9 months, and Kyrie Irving tore his ACL at 35 years old. So we can say if, ands, or buts any day of the week. This team sucks, and Cooper Flag did what he can. But unfortunately, PJ Washington, 6 for 19. Caleb Martin, 2 for 6. Max Christie, 6 for 15. Klay Thompson, 6 for 15, 4 for 11, his worst game in a while. Ryan Nembhard, 0 for 3. And then Jaden Hardy and Musa, both 0 for 1. So when we talk about this, I got to be honest, y'all. Cooper got outclassed at the end of the game, and it sort of helped the fact that the Hornets players were playing as a team. And people are mentioning when they get Lively back, I think Derek Lively's career is going to take a sharp turn. I think they screwed him over when they brought him back too soon. He had surgery and they messed up. So they had to have another surgery. So I think Derek Lively is one of those players where it's somewhat scary to look at as a player that you want to build around as well. He has had a lot of health issues. He's 7'1", and it's very, very scary. He played 36 games last year, 55 the year before, and he's only played 7 this season. I think Mavs fans should be very weary of Derek Lively because it's not looking good. There's a reason why they fired the training staff before Nico got fired, and that's because I truly believe that they fucked Derek Lively's career. So we'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens. But tall guys hurting their feet, that's a recipe for disaster. Now, again, I do need to shout out Kon Knips one more time. What makes Kon so good is that he had his 8 threes all within the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, he didn't hit a single 3, and he was still getting it done. Whether it was playmaking, whether it was getting layups, whether it was making the right read on that game-winning steal, Kon Knips, I can't be told that he's going to be a complimentary player in the NBA when I genuinely see a star in the making. Now, you can look at Cooper Flag and tell me that Cooper Flag is going to be better than Kon Knips, and I won't be mad at you. You can tell me Cooper Flag is going to be Rookie of the Year, and I won't be mad at you, because when I watch this kid play, and I've been saying this for the last 2 months, because his first 20 games were rough. Cooper Flag already looks like a 10-year vet. His defense, his offense, his defense leading into offense, his pull-up mid-range in 2026. What rookie do you see pulling up from mid-range in 2026? There were, correct me if I'm wrong, 3? Were there 3 roommates on this court? It was McNeely, Cooper Flag, and Kon Knips, right? Are they all the 3 roommates? It's a beautiful thing to see, bro. It is truly a beautiful thing to see. LaMelo Ball, though, and I think this is a great point, and I said it in my short yesterday, and I have a lot of angry comments on my YouTube channel. I said, you have a great player in Kon Knips. If Brandon Miller can stay healthy, you got diabetes. I think this is a good team, right? But LaMelo Ball still, in my opinion, I know the kids love him. I know he's swaggy. I know he plays in the NBA as if he's got an AirPod in. But I cannot get behind him just yet. I can't. And this is health aside, I really feel like he just chucks shit up just to make sure that he's got points. Now, he hit some threes last night. He hit 6 threes last night. But he was still 8 for 17 from the field. He's not a prolific finisher around the hoop for being a big guard. I think the best aspect of LaMelo Ball right now is his playmaking. And I genuinely believe that he could afford to lead the NBA in assists if he just tones back the scoring a little bit. If he just tones the scoring a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't think that this team needs LaMelo. In fact, I would be happier. Oh, it was Sion, not McNeely. Thank you. I appreciate the comms on the Duke teammates. Thank you, guys. I just feel like LaMelo Ball is not disciplined enough. I feel like, what is this, year 6 or 7? God damn it, I said the thing. This is year 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is year 6. And he has yet to show you that he could lead a team, and I'm willing to play it by ear. Let's see how this year goes. Let's see if they can make the play-in. And if they can make the play-in, am I crazy for saying they should shop him this summer if they can make the play-in and maybe make the playoffs? It depends how the rest of this year goes. If he goes crazy, if he plays 65 games, 70 games this year, and he shows you how good he can truly be, like let's say he gets into the play-in and wins you a couple playoff games, then yeah, sure, that's fine. You can convince yourself to keep him. But I feel like the kids get so mad when I talk about LaMelo Ball because he's so swaggy, he's so drippy. Oh my God, I want LaMelo to fuck me. That's what all these kids fucking sound like when they're talking about LaMelo Ball. They're talking about it right now on the TikTok. Like, just because you're 15 years old and insecure about your own sexuality does not mean LaMelo Ball is the best point guard in the NBA. He's the new Allen Iverson, and I appreciate that comment a lot, Newsom. Thank you. LaMelo Ball is a good player. He's a great player. In fact, his talent it's unbelievable. He's got unbelievable talent. Whether or not he can win you basketball games, we'll see. I'm judging how the rest of the season goes. I'm being told by Warren in the TikTok that I have not watched Hornets games. I live in North Carolina, so yes, I do watch Hornets games. In fact, I watch too many Hornets games. So thank you for the bros just yapping comments in the TikTok. That was a little jab at Allen Iverson, but I got to be honest. Allen Iverson lost his passion after 02. And if y'all think I'm wrong, go look at everything. Allen Iverson was honestly a more disgruntled star than Carmelo Anthony. I feel like Carmelo Anthony gets so much hate when Allen Iverson was like the original Carmelo Anthony as far as that attitude issue from a superstar goes. I love AI, one of the swaggiest, one of the coolest, one of the most awesome players to watch live. But I only got to see Allen Iverson when Allen Iverson wasn't Allen Iverson anymore, if that makes sense. I watched all the docs, I watched all the highlights, I watched everything, man. As far as the TikTok chat goes, I see a lot of people really angry about my comments regarding LaMelo Ball, and I see some people are agreeing with me. If you guys have any opinions or any takes on LaMelo Ball at all, feel free to swing on into the Twitch stream. I don't really read the TikTok. I would love for you guys to come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. I'm being told by a man named Glore with a Celtics Kyrie Irving profile picture saying Kyrie Irving is the most skilled scorer. All right, I think it's time we move on and don't read anything else from the TikTok for the rest of the day. So TikTok, if you guys want to swing on in into the Twitch stream, be sure to swing right on in. It's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Just click my profile picture, click the link in my bio, and come on through to the Twitch stream, or just go to Twitch and look up Jay-Z Uncut. It's the same name as my TikTok. Okay. So let's move on to the next game that I wanted to talk about. The Oklahoma City Thunder fell last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves. In fact, I said blowout. It was a blowout for the majority of this game. Wow. In case you guys don't know, the Oklahoma City Thunder have lost 3 out of their last 4 games. 3 out of their last 4. That's not good. That's not good whatsoever. I'm not really looking at this team and seeing the championship team that I was promised this year. Now, again, I got to reiterate this. They're hurt. They're banged up. They're missing their second guy, J-Dub. They're missing their 6-man, Alex Caruso. They're missing AJ Mitchell, who's been absolutely incredible all year long, right? And they still can't get it done. Because you have Lou Dort having a bad game, Jalen Williams having a bad game, Aaron Wiggins having a bad game. Almost everyone on the bench had a mid or below average game. What I got to say about this team, man, is my Lord, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP of this NBA. He is the MVP. He's the MVP. I can't reiterate this enough. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. He is. I mean, if you guys watch this team, it's actually crazy how at the start of this year, we thought that Chet Holmgren was going to like take the reign of this team. But Chet, like, I don't know what the issue with this team is. They don't want to get the ball to Chet. They don't want to let him cook. They don't really like, it's just Shea. It's just Shea, save us. That's what I feel like this team has turned into. Shea, save us. Save us, Shea, please. And that's sort of the downfall of this team right now. Before I continue, I want to give massive shout outs to Frosty and Ruben for leaving the TikTok stream and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you guys very, very much, man. Welcome to the Twitch stream. If you guys want to get involved in the basketball conversation, be sure to hang out in here. Join the Discord. It's 100% free. ! Discord. Welcome on in, guys. If Shea doesn't drop 35, this team isn't winning lately. And it's truly a sight to see, because I mentioned it already. I said, if J-Dub comes back and plays the way he was playing in the regular season and into the playoffs, this team's not winning shit. This team is not winning shit. I got to repeat myself one more time. This team is not winning shit if J-Dub does not come back and play like J-Dub of last year. J-Dub is having a horrible year. Horrible year. He's obviously hurt. He came back. He got hurt again. And I would like to just remind everybody here. They're still the 6th youngest team in the NBA. They're still the 6th. In fact, they're older than they're younger than the Hornets. In case you guys don't know, in case Hornets fans want to be depressed for a second, they are younger than the Hornets. But they won a championship last year. So when I say this, J-Dub, people tell me, I see it on Twitter all the time, and that's why I really don't interact with TikTok or Twitter hoops. That's why I love talking with you guys. J-Dub is so important to this team. If they do not have J-Dub playing at the level of last year, they are not winning jack fucking diddly. They're not winning anything. They need J-Dub. This is the same guy that dropped 40 in a finals game. This is why I tell everybody in the TikTok and Twitter to do not watch in the TikTok. Come to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. I hope to see you guys pull up, man. Again, I got to be honest. OKC, it's lately, it's just been Shea, save us. Shea, save us. They've lost 3 out of the 4. They're the number 1 seed in the West, the number 1 team in the NBA, and they lost to the Timberwolves, who I repeated. I just said the other day, the Timberwolves, when they have, it's so funny because Julius Randle decided to take a night off and Jaden McDaniels decided to be my guy who drops 20 in the starting lineup. I said, when the Timberwolves have 2 guys scoring 20 points in their starting lineup, and then they get at least 20 from Naz Reid, they had 18 from him last night. You can't beat this team. You cannot beat this basketball team when they got 2 20-pluses in the starting lineup, and then Naz Reid is dropping 20 off the bench. And Bones Highland didn't have a good game, right? Jalen Clark had an okay game. But it's all about Naz Reid. This team is not deep. This team is one of the least deep teams that you consider being a contender. And Rudy Gobert is the anchor of all of this. He did have a block, but did you guys see how many shots this motherfucker altered last night? Rudy Gobert, man. And their entire starting lineup got double digits. So that's just as good as getting 2 20-pluses. Because you got Jaden McDaniels going 8 for 11 on 95% true shooting. 95% true shooting, man. Come on. That's a small forward in the NBA. So, again, I have to repeat myself. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the most dangerous when they have all-around scoring in their starting lineup, or at least 2 guys getting 20-plus. And they managed to beat the number 1 team in the NBA in OKC. Now, I'm going to read this comment from my homie Mike Love. He's a Timberwolves fan in the Twitch stream. This is the benefits you get from being in the Twitch stream. By the way, you get my attention. Mike Love said, "What if Sam Presti presses the red button and trades picks and Chet for Giannis? I feel like if the struggle, this is a real possibility I'm afraid of. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They'll believe in the potential they have in Chet. Here's the thing. If OKC were to ever call the Bucks regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, they would offer J-Dub. They wouldn't want to offer Chet Holmgren. They would want to offer J-Dub. And that's just because, think about that. Chet Holmgren and Giannis, like, my God, that's unbelievable, right? That's unbelievable. Now, my biggest gripe with OKC right now, let me tell you all my biggest gripes with both of these teams. My biggest gripe with this team right now is that they don't have J-Dub. I can't take them seriously. And they're still arguably the best team in the NBA without J-Dub in the regular season. They have that deep of a team. My issue is without J-Dub, I'm not calling this an NBA championship caliber team. I think you guys can agree with me. J-Dub is so important to this team. You're missing AJ Mitchell. You're missing J-Dub. I can take them serious in the regular season, but as far as a 7-game series with Shea being your single life support, nah. You need J-Dub in the mix. Need that. You need J-Dub in the mix. I'm going to read my from one of my favorite viewers, Moose, in the Twitch stream. He's a Bulls fan. He said, OKC won, and it's hard to repeat young because everybody needs to lock in. If the Thunder just play decent and Shea goes Super Saiyan, they'd be unstoppable. OKC honestly just needs to lock in. They need health. They need health. And I said this at the beginning of the year. Do you guys remember the first couple weeks of this season where I said, wow, Chet Holmgren needs to be talked about a bit more, man. He needs to be talked about a bit more. This guy's taking that leap. This guy's taking that offensive leap. What the fuck happened? They were feeding Chet Holmgren the first month of the season, and everybody was gassing up Chet Holmgren. What happened? Why are we just playing Shea ball? It's like we're not trusting Chet anymore when we were trusting him at the beginning of the year. I thought we were going to go ahead and use Chet the same way we've been using Chet the first 2 months. It's truly upsetting because this team has great players. Even without J-Dub, they shouldn't be losing these games because you still have Chet Holmgren. You still have how much? $600 million on your court with Chet and Shea. I don't think you need the full $750 million on the court to compete. You still got about $500 million on the court. Come on, man. Why are we not feeding Chet? It's crazy. It's like ever since Wembanyama did what he did to Chet, they stopped feeding him. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. I appreciate you, Jaden, for watching in the YouTube, and I'd like to give a shout out Money J for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you. I'd like to say one more time as we move on to our next game. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream, we do this live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so be sure to follow on whatever platform you're listening on. We usually break down the best games from the previous night and talk about things that are like trending as far as news goes. Jay, shout out to you for coming through to the Twitch stream, my boy. I appreciate you very, very much. Be sure to join the Discord. The link is right there. Very happy to have you and join the conversation over here in the Twitch. Much love, baby. TikTok, if you guys would like to join the Twitch stream and get your messages read and talk with my community, get away from all the TikTok toxicity that there is and Twitter toxicity, and come through to the Twitch stream, y'all. I promise you guys, Fun Mode, Damien, you guys, Max, you guys would appreciate being in the Twitch so much. It's the same name, Jay-Z Uncut. The link is in my bio, or just look up Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Timberwolves did their thing, man, and the team is looking good again. And OKC falls. They now have 11 losses in the season. So this season is getting very interesting. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what's the third game? What's the third game that I'm talking about, right? And this one's going to go quicker than the first two. We're going to talk about Dylan Brooks going for his career high 40 points against my Pistons last night. And, I mean, hey, sometimes Suns versus any team, sometimes basketball is very simple, okay? Sometimes basketball is very simple. And this game was very simple as to how the Suns killed the Pistons. I would go as far as to say this is the worst Pistons game I've seen all year. They only have been blown out twice this year, and it was against the Cavs in the second week of the season, which I don't really count, and then the Phoenix Suns now. Now, this one counts. Of course, as we all know, the Phoenix Suns are missing Devin Booker and Jalen Green, and yet they still managed to smack the Pistons. Now, this is a Phoenix Suns squad that has now beat both teams at the top of each conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder, number one in the West, the Suns beat them. The Detroit Pistons, number one in the East, Suns beat them. And this game just goes right down to math. This comes right down to math. The Phoenix Suns scored 48 points from deep. The Pistons scored 18. Got to repeat myself. The Phoenix Suns scored 48 points from 3. The Detroit Pistons scored 18. So I got to repeat myself because it's that much of an emphasis. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I hate watching Dillon Brooks when he's against my team, but my God, do I love rooting for this guy, man. Dillon Brooks is arguably the best Piston to never be a Detroit Piston. This guy's got that junkyard dog energy. You hate him when you're against him, but when he's with you, you love him. He's great, man. He's great. Dillon Brooks, 40 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He willed them to this win. My question for JB Bickerstaff, the head coach of the Pistons, is sometimes he forgets that he has the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA. Every stat line shows that. Every advanced metric shows that. You guys are probably wondering, damn, how did Dillon Brooks drop 40 on Asar Thompson? How did Kawhi Leonard drop 55 on Asar Thompson? Now, this is my point. JB Bickerstaff, go watch the game from last night. Asar Thompson didn't guard Dillon Brooks. The game from a month ago, Asar Thompson didn't guard Kawhi Leonard. I'm getting very confused because JB Bickerstaff, if you have the best perimeter defender in the NBA, why are you not playing him on their best offensive player? It's truly and utterly disappointing and makes no fucking sense why I'm watching Tobias Harris attempt to guard Dillon Brooks. It doesn't make any sense. It genuinely does not make any sense, and it's quite upsetting. It really is upsetting because what I'm seeing Asar Thompson do is put every great team in prison, every great player in prison, and yet you're not putting Asar Thompson on the best defender. So my point being is, why do you even have him on the court? What use is Asar Thompson if you're going to be putting him on Colin Gillespie and Grayson Allen? It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense. The Pistons right now they have double the wins they do losses than the Western Conference. So that is a valid question if the Pistons are going to continue losing to the Western Conference, but they have the best record against all teams above 500. So I'm not worried about this. The Pistons have the best record against teams above 500. That's great. My point is pretty clear here. If Asar Thompson is not being aggressive on offense, this game the Pistons suck. You can go look at every single game the Pistons have lost this year, and it's because Asar Thompson is not being aggressive. And that's what happens. Flat out, the Pistons need another shooter. They need another shooter. This is the worst game from the Detroit Pistons bench I've seen all year. Javonte Green, Ron Holland, and Jaden Ivey combined for 0 for 11. 0 for 11. 0 for 11. Jaden Ivey played 7 minutes in the first half and was horrible, as he's been since he came back from injury. JB Bickerstaff didn't even put Jaden Ivey back in the game in the second half. So I was very upset about this loss last night. And then it just reminded me that the Phoenix Suns are not a team that you want to mess with. In fact, I'm taking the Phoenix Suns over a couple teams in the Western Conference in the playoffs. I got them against the Warriors, got them against the Trailblazers, got them against the Clippers, I got them against the Lakers. The Phoenix Suns fully healthy. My God, even not fully healthy, this team is so fucking good. The Phoenix Suns are so good, man. They are so good. Now, I hate watching them because all they do is jack up threes. In fact, I think they're worse at jacking up threes than the Boston Celtics are at times. It's just the disparity is too much. This is the second game in a row the Pistons scored 6 threes. This is the second game in a row where they hit 6 threes in an entire 48-minute game. You cannot win NBA basketball, especially in the playoffs, if you're only hitting 6 threes, averaging 19% from 3 in the last 4 games. You cannot win basketball games like that. So for the Pistons, I'm going to talk about them later again in a short segment that we have. The Pistons, yeah, they got to address this issue. The Pistons also have a back-to-back tonight in Golden State. Now, the Detroit Pistons, again, as good as they have been in the regular season, with this current roster construction, I can't see them winning a playoff series. And they're the first seed in the East. Jay-Z, what are you talking about? You're crazy. I'm a Pistons fan. I'm a Pistons super fan. I've watched every second of every game this year. If our one three-point shooter is Duncan Robinson and he shot 0 for 8 last game and now 1 for 6 in this game, you are not going to win a playoff series if you have one shooter on this team. It's getting bad, and the Pistons need to address this, and hopefully they can. Hopefully they can. Phoenix Suns, I'm super proud of y'all, man. I love this team. I hate going up against them, but I'm going to be rooting for them. I'm going to be rooting for the Phoenix Suns. They're my team of the West. I claimed them at the beginning of the year. I always claim one team at the beginning of the year, and I claimed the Phoenix Suns. Their over-under this year was 30.5. They were projected to win 30 games, okay? 30 games. They're at 29, and we're halfway into the NBA season. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns. Whole lot of dogs on this team. Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks. When Jalen Green and Devin Booker come back, man, they have a solid bench. They have a solid starting lineup. The only issue I see about this Phoenix Suns team is they have no draft picks until 2032. So what you see is what you got with the Phoenix Suns. They have no draft picks for the next 6 years. Shout out Kevin Durant. Shout out Bradley Beal. They have no draft picks for the next 7 years. My last point about the Pistons. The only guys that came to play was Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. I'd like to give a massive shout out to Jalen Duren. He's fully convinced himself to be an all-star. They had no answer for Jalen Duren, and yet they stopped going to him. Phoenix Suns fans, we were down by 19 at the end of the second half, and they came back all within 3 points. They came back. They brought it within 3 points, okay? And it was led by Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham, that lineup with Asar Thompson, right? Asar Thompson was getting steal after steal after steal after steal. You guys should have saw it. It was truly incredible. Now, JB Bickerstaff, in the midst of a Pistons going on a 20-5 run, I got to repeat myself. The Pistons went on a 20-5 run in the third quarter. And I know all the Suns fans, they're all scared. They're all terrified. They went on a 20-5 run at the start of the third quarter, and they were within 3 points, right? JB Bickerstaff decided to just do a full unit swap and brought in the entire bench that went down by 19 in the first half. So I'd like to just point these bad coaching decisions. Jalen Duren, when he was getting pulled out of the game, had his arms up and say, no, I want to stay in. I want to stay in. Bro, Jalen Duren was killing the entire Phoenix Suns team. He was bodying Mark Williams. They were quadruple teaming him in the paint. And he was still dunking it and laying it up over everybody there. Again, you went on a 20-5 run. You brought it to within 3 points. You take your entire starting lineup out. And then you go back down 19. You forced yourself to lose. I'd like to give one final shout out from the games from last night. Shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers for beating the Sacramento Queens. And shout out in particular goes to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid finished with 37 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, 40 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. Beautiful. I mean, talk about a duo. Talk about a team that's going to look scary if they're healthy. I feel like I always have to say a disclaimer when I talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. But if they're healthy, my God, can this team be terrifying? And I saw a funny post. It was like, man, the rookie games last night were unbelievable. And it showed Cooper Flag, 49 points. Kon Knips, 34 points. VJ Edgecombe, 5 points. Yeah, there's levels to this draft class. I'm not worried about any of those three. I think all three are going to be stars of this league, and I think one of them is going to be a superstar. So, shout out to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. They did their thing, man. They did their thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on to our final segment of today's show before I send y'all off into having a beautiful weekend. We got some time to go into my last segment of the show. Now, TikTok chat, YouTube chat, if you guys are enjoying the stream, you would enjoy it so much more if you were in the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. Podcast listeners, really take a quick second and leave a 5-star rating and review. Apple, Spotify listeners, and TikTok, of course, come to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut. Same name as my TikTok. The link is in my bio. We'd love to have y'all come through. Guys, this next segment is called Who Needs What? Who Needs What? Who Needs What? We're going to talk about a team, and we're going to talk about their biggest flaw. I'm not going to really name players for every team, but I am going to highlight what each of these teams who are considered contenders need in order to actually be a contender, okay? Who needs what? And up first, it's going to be the quickest one we do. It's the Detroit Pistons. If you guys watch the Pistons, and I feel like my Twitch chat, my Discord server know more about the Pistons than 99% of the NBA fan base, they need one thing. It's shooting. If you add shooting into this team, they're already the number 2 defense in the NBA. They are already number 1 in steals. They're top 3 in blocks. They're top 5 in rebounding. This team has everything except shooting. That's their one flaw. If they want to make a run this year, they need to add shooting. Some options would be Malik Monk, trade Ivy and LeVert and a second rounder. Trade Ivy and LeVert and a second rounder for Klay Thompson. I think that's the best pickup you could possibly make this year. I don't want them to do something crazy, but what I will say is having Tobias Harris in your starting lineup against big teams is pretty much pointless. So if you are up against a big team, Tobias Harris is going to be the worst power forward in the NBA. But if you're up against a small team like the Celtics, Tobias Harris is going to be incredible. So the Pistons need shooting. They need to add shooting. Klay Thompson, Malik Monk, other available shooters maybe. Yeah, I can't really think of any contracts that you'd want to add onto your team. Obviously, people are saying Michael Porter Jr. It's a bit of a home run swing for me. You're playing with house money this year. I'd say just add a shooter and see where you can go. The Pistons at the end of the deadline added Dennis Schroeder. And because of him, the Pistons almost beat the Knicks. So I think just one more marginal move and you can win a couple playoff series in the East. Let's move on to the next team. The Houston Rockets need ball handling and shooting. I think we can all agree on that. The Houston Rockets right now, they need a point guard. Their half-court offense is some of the ugliest basketball you could ever watch other than the Toronto Raptors. And I got to give a special shout out to my Detroit Pistons. When both of those teams' offense suck, it's bad. It's bad. I think Kobe White answers both of your problems and gives a solution to both of them. They obviously need a center as well. I don't think they'll go for one. I think they'll probably just move Şengün to the 5, and that probably won't bode well for him when he's up against a Rudy Gobert, when he's up against a Jalen Duren, when he's up against that. I think Kobe White answers both of your issues. He gives you shooting, he gives you shot creation, and he gives you playmaking. I think that's a great answer. I think the Houston Rockets need to go out and get themselves a ball dominant guard that can move the ball and make their half-court offense better. I didn't make a category for every team because I don't want to go for 30 teams, right? I don't want to go through all 30 teams and what they need because a lot of teams are not going to go for a trade, right? But sure, I'll mention the Toronto Raptors for my Raptors fan in here. They need a center. I don't know what center that could be. Sabonis would ruin their entire defensive. I don't like Sabonis on the Toronto Raptors. They're a defensive team. You don't want a big man that doesn't play defense. I also hear Anthony Davis, obviously health is issues, but yeah, Sabonis, I just don't like him in general because he doesn't play defense. I love him as a player on offense, but he doesn't play defense. I like players who play on both sides of the court. Let's move on to a third team, I guess fourth if you count the Raptors. The Timberwolves, they need playmaking. This has been a thing. I mean, come on. Like, we've been looking at the Timberwolves for years now. They've been making it to the conference final back-to-back years. And the West is only getting tougher. I genuinely cannot see the Minnesota Timberwolves ever winning if they still only have Mike Conley as their point guard. Dante DiVincenzo needs to go back to the bench. I don't like him starting at this point guard that they're running him as. He's not a point guard. Now, I got to give credit where credit is due. Anthony Edwards. I was not expecting his playmaking to improve this much. Anthony Edwards' playmaking has improved a lot. People in the TikTok said need to start Conley. Conley is ass. Any Timberwolves fan will tell you that. They hate Mike Conley now. He's old. He's old. Conley really doesn't, like, you hear it when he produces something. Mike Conley is not that guy anymore. I love Mike Conley. They just need production, a consistent production from a point guard. Bones Highland, as cool as he is, he's too inconsistent to be your main guy off the bench. They need a point guard, man. I think Kobe White would take shots away from Ant, and maybe that'll help. They need a point guard. I don't think they need to swing for the fences and go get a Tyler Hero. Rob Dillingham, that experiment did not work. It's very, very unfortunate. Hell, I think they should just trade Rob Dillingham and let him try with another team, because right now, with Rob Dillingham, and I think Timberwolves fans can attest to this, I think you guys are probably going to just put your hands in the air and praise me for this take, but Rob Dillingham will turn the ball over in a game and get 5 DNPs because of that turnover. He does not have a leash at all on this Timberwolves team. This is a team that made it into the conference finals for 2 years in a row. He's got a very short leash, and when he makes one mistake, he gets sat and doesn't play for 3 to 5 games. So Rob Dillingham experiment failed. It's not working. I think trade him and try to, like, maybe give him to the Rockets or something and see if he can try to develop there. But I don't think he'd get much burn on the Rockets either, because they got Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepherd, right? So yeah. Rob Dillingham experiment failed. Let's move on to our next team. What do they need? The Lakers need defense and rebounding. Now, I could have said they need a lot more things, but I didn't want to. They need some assists. They're a bottom 3 team in assists in the NBA because they just play iso ball. They need defense. They need rebounding, and I don't know how the fuck they're gonna get either of those things. It sucks that they couldn't get Mark Williams because now he's playing his heart out in down in Phoenix. Lakers need defense and rebounding. Who can they get? I don't know. A guy in the TikTok said, Lakers need to trade for Giannis. And then Dalton. You're ruining his career. What are they going to trade for Giannis? I'm done reading the TikTok. TikTok, if you guys want to talk with me, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. I am not reading TikTok anymore. If you guys want to talk with me, come to the Twitch. That's the same name on TikTok. Yeah, they can't get Giannis. They don't have anything for Giannis. You're going to have to trade Luka to get Giannis. You can't get him. I've talked about the Spurs a lot. Here's the thing. Deez came in and said, he came into the Twitch and said, Spurs shoot a lot of threes, and I believe they have some of the worst three-point percentage in the league. A high-caliber three-point shooting team or shooter would be good. Now, while I agree with you, Deez, I'm not making any moves if I'm the San Antonio Spurs. I'm not making any moves. And the reason being is because this season, they're playing house money. They're playing with all house money. They don't need, like, honestly, this year, without their shooting, they can still win a playoff series. Hell, they can still win maybe one. Yeah, one. It depends how hard the Spurs want to go. I don't think the Spurs should trade any young asset for shooting. Like I said, they're playing with house money this year. I don't think that they should take any risks. Just enjoy what you have and just see what you get. Yeah, they could go all the way if shit breaks right for them. I absolutely agree. I don't think you need to add shooting to this team. I think just let them rock and see what they get, because he's right. If the bracket breaks any which way, they could. At the end of the day, you do have the best player in any series in Wembanyama. I don't think they should risk anything, especially not their young talent. Offseason and maybe development. I think next trade deadline, you'll see the Spurs more active. I don't think they should move anybody. I know that might be contrary to belief. The reason why I say the Pistons is because they're in the Eastern Conference. If the Pistons were in the West and still as good as they were, I'd say Pistons don't touch anything, right? But because the Pistons are in the East, if they just add one shooter, I can see them beating any team in the Eastern Conference. That's the only difference, because the Pistons and Spurs, I've said this a lot this year, but those two teams are both very ahead of schedule, and they don't need to do anything because they're both very ahead of schedule. The Pistons need a shooter. They need a shooter. They need a shooter. They can't shoot. The last 4 games, they're averaging 19% from 3. I'm being told from KG in the TikTok. Bro, KG, come on, dog. He's saying Pistons don't want to mess with anything. Bro, Pistons need a shooter. And they will trade for a shooter. I guarantee it. They need a shooter. You cannot get outscored 50 points. 50 points to 18 points from deep in a game. Not in today's NBA. You can't. You can't win. Now, there's a lot of shooters available for them. Like I said, Klay Thompson, Malik Monk, there's shooters out there. There's shooters out there. And it's very unfortunate that they lost Malik Beasley. It's very unfortunate that they lost Malik Beasley because of the FBI bullshit. Even though we got cleared by the FBI, the NBA is still doing their entire thing. Let's move on. Who did I just do? The Lakers, I think. Yeah, that's right. Next, Celtics need some playmaking. The Celtics need some playmaking, and that's not like a jab at Peyton Pritchard. It sort of is. My Celtics fans will agree. Peyton Pritchard has been incredibly disappointing this year, and Celtics fans are sort of turning on Peyton Pritchard. They really miss Jason Tatum's playmaking ability. Every time he gets double teamed, every time he gets attacked, every time he drives, he kicks it out. Jason Tatum is their playmaker. This team is bottom 2 in the NBA in assists. They don't move the ball. They sort of just ISO and hit a shot. If Tatum comes back, awesome. If he doesn't, then maybe just trade Anthony Simons and get you some sort of playmaking guard, because Jaylen Brown is going to burn out before he gets into the playoffs. They need help. They just need somebody to relieve the load off of Jaylen Brown. So I think the Celtics, obviously they need a center, but I think they're going to wait until the summer, because right now, again, the Celtics are playing with house money. This was supposed to be a gap year. Yeah. So unfortunately, for the Celtics, they lost Jason Tatum. Unfortunately for the Pistons, they lost Malik Beasley. He's not able to sign with an NBA team. So instead, he's just posting his girlfriend's ass on a Snapchat all day, every day. Let's move on to our final one, guys. The Nuggets, the Thunder, the Celtics, the 76ers, the Magic, and the Suns all need health. This has nothing to do with the trade deadline. Nothing. The Nuggets, they got to get right. They've been missing 4 starters and their MVP in Nikola Jokic almost all season long. They need Jokic. They need Aaron Gordon. They need Christian Brown. They need, who am I missing? Cam Johnson. This team is my favorite to come out of the West. They need their players back. That still doesn't change for me. They need their players back. The Thunder, they need Jada back. They need AJ Mitchell back. They need Alex Caruso back. There's far too many injuries this year. Far too many injuries. The Celtics, they need Tatum back. Will they get him this year? Maybe not. 76ers, I think we all can agree. I think we can all agree that. I don't need to say anything. I don't need to manifest anything. But I think we can all agree. The Philadelphia 76ers, they need Joel Embiid right now. And hopefully, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to, The Magic, I was going to add a segment for them specifically, but I could not justify making a individual segment for a play-in team. I hope you guys understand. I just didn't want to make a whole entire segment for a play-in team because unfortunately, the Magic need a lot. They need playmaking. They need shooting. They need defense. But their most important thing is they need health. Franz, Paolo, they need health. It's not going to help them this year, but they need health. That's their number one thing. At least they can be a consistent team with health. You just don't know what you have when everybody keeps getting hurt. And of course, the Suns, Devin Booker and Jalen Green. This team can steal a playoff series. I promise you. This team, when you got dogs like them, yeah, they can win a playoff series. I mean that. Especially against an inexperienced team. They can. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it. Guys, starting next week, at the end of every single episode, we are going to be finishing these episodes with a segment that we're going to be doing every single day. Monday through Friday, we're going to be doing a segment so that you know that the end of the podcast is here. Instead of me just saying, all right, bye. We're going to be doing a segment that we end with every single podcast. So I hope you guys are ready. In the meantime, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, YouTube guys, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I'd like to say KG, Bot, Done, Connor, all you guys in the TikTok stream, I'm ending that stream, but we're still live on Twitch. So I would love for you guys to come through to the Twitch. That's where my real community hangs out. That's where my real ball knowers hang out. We don't involve ourselves with the TikTok ball knowledge or the Twitter ball knowledge. Come hang out with us in the Twitch. We're still live over there. The link is in my bio. I'd love for you to be in here, KG. It's been a blast having you in the TikTok. I appreciate the roses as well over there. It's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Click the profile picture, click the link in my bio, come through, or go to the Twitch and look up Jay-Z Uncut. It's spelled the same way. We don't have the TikTok or Twitter ball knowledge. We actually have real hoops knowledge. TikTok, YouTube, podcast listeners, that's all I got for y'all today. Twitch, stick around. Twitch, stick around. We're still alive, Twitch. Stick around. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. I'll see you guys Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Twitch, stick around.